Hey everyone. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Last week it was our first time using StreamYard, the new StreamYard platform, so we could stream in several different places. And I didn't know if my mic or I didn't know that my mic and my camera weren't working. So now just let me double check. Can you hear me? Can you see me? If you can hear me and see me, just put in the comments here. Hello, I can hear you. Hello, I can see you. Before I get into it, because I did about a third of the, I got a third of the way through before we realized it last time. So I am not seeing comments. Let's see, can't see comments to some destinations. Okay, everything looks good with that, but I'm not seeing any confirmation. Oh, yay. Okay, I can see you and hear you. Yay! Awesome. That's exciting. Okay, cool. So now I can see comments. Today is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about the 3 reasons why you're afraid to do sales calls. And yes, this is the same as last week because I missed the first third of it. We're redoing it. There was lots of really great information in the last 2/3, but I wanted to redo it again so we get it all in there. Because this is really a big thing for a lot of people. Okay, a lot of experts, a lot of service-based entrepreneurs out there. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. They've got the confidence in how to deliver the results for their clients, but sometimes they're not really sure how to enroll people into their offer. Okay. Like knowing what exactly to say to enroll someone into it, like how to communicate the value around what they offer so that people will pay them. Right. And I work with high ticket. Okay. So that high ticket means between 3,000 and 10,000. So it's a lot different enrolling somebody into on a sales call or into your offer. At a lower rate, right? It's a lot easier for somebody to pay a lower price than a lower price. Wouldn't you agree? So we're talking about high ticket services here, service-based entrepreneurs. If this is you and you are afraid to do sales calls or you find yourself doing busy stuff, this is all new. I'm traveling. I'm out in Florida right now for the holidays. And I think I'm going to try not to touch the table. It looks like it's jiggling. The lighting is kind of off too. So just bear with me for this one. Okay. The information is going to be really good, but the sound might not be the best quality, might be a little bit echoey in here, and same with the lighting. So just bear with me today. Okay. Today and next week. And then I'll be back in San Diego. But anyway, a lot of people they find themselves relieved when people cancel. If this is you, okay, if you find yourself, if somebody cancels on you, cancels their call or reschedules a call, and you're like, oh, thank goodness I didn't want to do that call. That's a sign that you're afraid to do sales calls. Okay. And if you can't do sales calls, or if you're not able to enroll people into what you're offering, this is a big problem, right? Because you're a business, you need sales. It's the number one thing that we need to keep going in order to make that impact on people. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Heather Blaze. I help entrepreneurs set up their business systems so that they can have time and money freedom to do what they love to do. If you're here with me live, you can do hashtag live. And if you're here with me watching the replay, please put hashtag replay so we know who's who. And if you're here on YouTube, please like and subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified when I do these live. So I'm typically doing these every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, but today we're doing it a little bit early because I'm on Eastern time. We're doing it at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So let's dive right in. Okay. So doing these sales calls are crucial, right? They're crucial to the success of your business. And this is because you don't just want to be giving out information to people. Okay. That's not how it works. Okay. That is what happens when you like sell an ebook or a video course, to people. People buy it, but they don't really consume your stuff. Okay. We're talking about high ticket sales here. Okay. So, if you're selling something like an ebook or a video course, some people might not get to even reading it or watching your content. And then they're never really getting to apply what they've learned, right? Maybe they do kind of consume it, but they might not apply what they've learned because it'd be like a low ticket thing. And then they don't have that support or accountability. So they're not going to get the results. And this is fine if you're just in it for the money. But as a service-based entrepreneur, chances are you want to serve people, you want to make an impact with people. And it might bother you if you want to actually help people get results. Okay. And this is where the high ticket offer comes in. Okay. Because if you're wanting people to be committed and to take action, then they have to have enough skin in the game. Okay. Skin in the game. They have to have enough invested in it. So if they make that investment of 3K to 10K with you as a mentor, and in return, you help them get their desired outcome, okay, then it's a win-win, right? And when you go into high ticket, you only need to work with a handful of people every month. So then that way you can be hitting your income goals. And this also allows you to have enough time to work with your clients in depth, like to really go deep with them instead of just catering to hundreds, but only touching the surface level concerns that they might have. Okay. And you begin that in-depth working relationship with the phone call, with this sales call we're talking about. Okay. A phone call allows you to ensure that you're enrolling people that you really want to help. Okay. In other words, the perfect fit clients, those dream clients. Okay. And it also allows you to command that premium price. Okay. Because there's a specific way to do it. There's a syntax involved. Okay. There are specific questions that you need to ask your specific person, ideal client that you would be helping. And that has to coincide with your offer as well. Okay. These two things go hand in hand. And really, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing sales calls if you're in the business of transforming people's lives. Okay. You shouldn't be afraid to do those sales calls. So let's dive in and talk about these fears that may be holding you back from doing these sales calls. Okay. Let me just get a sip of my tea. So number one is you have a weak or a broken funnel. Okay. So what's a sales funnel? It's essentially a series of web pages, okay, that people go through and are designed to get them to buy something ultimately. Okay. Some have overly complicated funnels, but what I have and what I teach my clients to do is really, really simple. We go from an ad or post, okay, it doesn't have to be an ad, but it's a specific type of post, okay, to a valuable free offer, to a phone call, to a new client, okay? The ad or the post it's designed a specific way. There's a lot that goes into it that makes it effective, okay? It makes the messaging really resonate deeply with the ideal client that is ready to take action, that will reach out to you really quickly. Okay. And then that goes into a valuable free offer. And what we do is we create this in such a way that it does a lot of the heavy lifting. It saves a lot of time. It can be automated so that it weeds out those people that you wouldn't want to spend time talking to, waste your time talking to, who aren't ready, who aren't an ideal fit. And it also really brings in the most ideal clients who are ready. It establishes you as a go-to expert. It does a lot of things, but really saves you a lot of time when it's done properly, when it's done effectively. And then also, to the phone call. So then again, there's that specific thing I talked about, knowing exactly what to say to them once you've got them on the phone, so that they think that price is a bargain, so that they enroll with you within 24 to 48 hours. And then they become that client, right? So stranger to client can happen really quickly. And this process can take, like I said, it just can take a complete stranger that's never heard of you before to becoming that new client within 48 hours or even less, even though you're selling something at 5K, 10K, whatever. Okay. Even if you don't have that system in place though, then that's part of the reason why you're almost terrified of getting on the phone with your potential clients, because, well, I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go off if I do that. So also with an effective funnel, there will be more and more people who will be booking calls with you. And this now allows you to confidently filter who you want to work with, as opposed to just having, one or two calls booked every week and then worrying that you might mess up those and then end up with 0 clients. Okay. So a proper funnel, an effective funnel, is also going to set up that call for you. So that by the time you're talking to that potential client on the phone, they've already been pre-sold, meaning they know who you are, they believe you're an expert, they know how you can help them, and they're clear on the problem that you solve, and it matches what they need. Okay, so this makes getting on the phone easier and even fun for you because you can get to anticipate talking to people who are ready to take action because they understand and appreciate the value of your work. Does that make sense? I'm just going to double check the awesome. Double check the comments here. Cool. And if you have any questions or anything, you can put them in the comments here and I'd be happy to answer those for you. So let's talk now about the second reason, okay? Why you're so afraid to get on the phone with your prospects. And believe me, this is super normal, you guys, even especially if you're just starting out, this is really normal. Okay. Some people have no problem with it. Some people are really excited. They know exactly how to enroll them, and that's not their problem. Their problem is like, how do we get leads? But then some people, they have both, or some people, you know, they get the leads, but then they just don't know what to say to actually enroll them, or they're getting a lot of people that aren't a really good fit. Okay. So that goes with number one. So number two, you're just not that good at sales. Okay. Like I said, there's a syntax to it. So this is very common, and it's usually because of a lack of proper training. There are so many famous sales systems out there that are still being taught today that are just outdated and don't feel good. And that if you try to employ these systems, people are just going to run away from you. Okay, they can see through you. They can see through that act like from a mile away, right? People are just more sophisticated these days. They know when they're being sold to, right? And that's just not the way to approach it. Okay, it doesn't work really anymore. I mean, it does, but it doesn't feel good, right? So people of today are just bombarded with advertising. There's so much information everywhere. You see them everywhere, right? So this makes the audience of today just more skeptical, I guess you could say, because they're tired of being sold to all the time. So if you're trying to twist their arm or box them in until they make a buying decision, they won't. They'll feel kind of bullied, or they'll feel pressured, and then they just won't let it happen. They'll resist it, right? So either you won't even really be entertained at all, or they might just entertain you, but then eventually will ask for a refund the moment they realize, that they've been sold to, basically, right? That they've been pushed into something that they're not really that confident about, or not really that clear about, or not really that sure about. Okay. So these predatory sales practices, they just don't work anymore, because the main object, right, stops at selling instead of serving. So if you're coming from that place of service, selling with service, I call it, it's a totally different ballgame. So when those when they focus on features and benefits of the product that they're selling, when they're done with the formalities, like they can't wait for you to just shut up, right? So they can tell you about how amazing they are, or how amazing the product is. But if you do it in the new way, wherein you put the client's needs first, they're just gonna know, right? If you don't put their needs first, and they're just going to come from that. I don't know. It's not that sleazy, cheesy sales tactic, right? You put their needs first, and then you're selling from service, and they can feel it. And then they're more interested in enrolling with what you have. They're more interested in working with you. So you get on a call to uncover what their real problem is, because sometimes they don't even know what their real problem is. Sometimes the real problem isn't the real problem. Sometimes it's just the symptoms of the problem. Because I get a lot of people on calls and they're like, I don't have any money. The problem is I don't have any money. The problem is I don't have any money. But that's not the problem. The problem, the real problem, that's a symptom. That's a symptom of what the problem is. They don't have any money because they haven't fixed the real problem. So then diving into what's that real problem, well, then you can fix the problem, then they'll have the money, right? So yeah, but a lot of people, they just think that that's the problem, but that's not it. So commitment, it's usually about the commitment. It's never about the money. I always say it's never about the money. It's about how committed are they to fixing the problem, and then uncovering what that problem is that's preventing them, or causing those symptoms, right? So you get on the call to uncover what their real problem is, how you can help them, and if you can work together to achieve the desired outcome. Make sense? So what happens is the buyer then feels heard and that they can actually have a real conversation with you. And most of the time, when the conversation revolves around their problem, they would want to resolve that immediately. Make sense? So you don't need to force people into buying or force them into pain or anything like that. They're always like, oh, force that pain. It's not, it just doesn't work anymore. And it doesn't feel good. It's not fun to do that. So you don't want to force people into buying, and then because then they realize the need for a solution, right? And what you're offering will just be irresistible to them. So then they'll easily enroll into that offer because it'll just feel so natural. So the goal of the conversation is not to make a sale. It's to get to the truth of what that problem is. What is the truth? What is the problem that the prospect is struggling with? What happens if they don't fix it now? Can you help them solve the problem? These are all the things that you kind of need to figure out on the call, right? And this sets you up for an amazing relationship because you have properly assessed the situation. And then matter of factly that you can help this person, right? And this is the proper way to do those sales calls. And this will make you feel at ease as you talk to the prospect because you're not using any sneaky techniques, right? You're just making a sale. You're just enrolling them into what you have to offer. It's like a win-win for both people. And if you're wondering if this is at all effective, well, this is how I do it in my business and what I teach my clients to do too. So we have one conversation, sometimes two, depending on how long it takes, but usually one conversation with a potential client, and that results in a 3K to 10K sale. Okay, one conversation. That's it. No lengthy follow-ups that just take up too much time. Okay, makes sense? You following me so far? So now let's talk about the third reason why you're terrified to do those sales calls. So number 3 is you're struggling with fear internally. So there's that fear of rejection, right? Of people turning you down. You don't want to hear no. At the end of the day, you just don't want to hear it. You just don't want to hear that word no. It can be deflating. It can be defeating, right? So instead, you might try to get busy with busy work, or as we like to call it, you're always getting ready to get ready. So you say, yeah, okay, I'd like to do a high ticket offer, but I got to get my followers to 100,000 people first, or I got to get to 50 podcast episodes first, or, whatever. Like there's all these things like you think you might need, but you don't need all those things. And although that might seem like it makes sense, right? All you're really doing is succumbing to your fears so that you keep on delaying that which is needed to be done. Okay. When all honesty, you can have a funnel that's set up properly. It takes about 8 to 12 weeks for my clients to do it. Okay. And it gives you 2 to 5 sales calls per day. And if it's a great fit, awesome. You have a new client. And if not, no problem, right? You got another one coming. So you don't need to spend months or years writing a book or building your audience first or getting likes and followers and all this kind of stuff. Building know, like, and trust for years doesn't need to take that long. There's a way to do it really quickly. Okay. So ask yourself right now, am I making things more complicated just because I have some fears? Okay. I've seen this happen even for the most extroverted people, but with the right funnel, I've seen introverts get over this. Like they learn how to handle real conversations. They break away from that fear of getting rejected, and then the success and the money just follows. Okay. When somebody has the right coaching, the right skills, the right support, we can teach them how to overcome these fears and turn that into something really positive. So there's also people who have a fear of abundance and prosperity though. Okay. What's your relationship with money? What's your relationship with money like, right? What did you hear growing up? How old are you? How many years have you been programmed this way, right? So they're not used to hearing someone say yes to their offer either. So they go ahead and hide behind the pretense of having to get ready over and over and over again. I need more training. So it really does help when you get the reps in, when you just go for it, when you just do it, it gets easier and easier. Okay. So if you've got issues with money, or rejection, then you need to get some help, because those mindset issues they're just not going to magically go away, right? They're just going to keep holding you back. They're not going to magically go away. They're not going to fix themselves. You need somebody to hold you by the hand, walk you through some exercises. I do this with my clients. It's like maybe a week or two of exercises, and it's just pulling that stuff out and getting that awareness and shifting out of it. Because if that doesn't happen, nothing else matters. You're going to constantly sabotage it. Does that make sense? So let's recap the 3 reasons why you're afraid to do sales calls. Number 1, you have a weak or broken funnel. Okay. Number 2, you're ineffective at doing sales calls. You just don't know what you don't know. You're not sure what to say. You don't come with that knowing of what to say to easily guide someone into that high ticket sale, so that, and how to communicate the value around what you're offering, so they think that it's a bargain, even between $3,000 and $10,000. There's a way of doing it where, when you're on that sales call, you present it in such a way where they're just like, this is a no-brainer. Okay, no-brainer. I have to do this. Number 3 is that you're struggling with fear and you need to clear those out. Okay, fear of rejection, fear of making money, fear of not being, like, so many fears, right? So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you can relate to any or all 3 of these reasons, our lines are open. Okay, we can help you overcome these roadblocks that are keeping you from being effective in handling those sales calls. So just type the word calls, okay, in the comments, and I or someone from my team will be in touch if you need more clarification on how to get over these things, or if you're kind of feeling like you're spinning your wheels, you might feel frustrated, you might feel stuck somewhere. We offer a free 45-minute clarity call where we can go over the exact price you should be charging, usually somewhere between $3,000 and $10,000 for what you're offering, who your ideal client is, and the best strategy to get you from where you are to where you want to go. We can share a process with you on how to get you there. And of course, it's different for everybody. So that's why we would need to hop on a clarity call around that. Nothing for sale on there, right? But if it does turn out that we're a good fit to work together and we could help you and you would want help, then then we might discuss that opportunity or that possibility for you. But anyway, if you're interested in that, just type in the word calls in the comments below. And again, I'm here every Thursday unless I'm traveling or sick. I'm here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time typically, but I'm traveling right now. So we're on Eastern time. So next week will be also Eastern time. If you want to join the Facebook group, I've got a Facebook group. It's called the Business Growth Blueprint, High Ticket Services That Sell. And we've got a lot of valuable information in there. So hopefully you found this helpful, and glad it finally worked this week. We're just going to dial it in. But thanks for joining me today. I won't see you. I guess have happy holidays, happy new year, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.